Hello everyone, I'm really excited to introduce you to Candy and Don Gagnon this morning from West Gardner, Maine. They are the winners of Garden Gate's 2024 Reader Garden Award contest, and we get to tour their beautiful garden today, so we're in for a treat. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's really fun to be able to see your garden and meet you in person.
Yeah, I know. We've talked. And
Exactly.
It is nice to meet.
Yeah, exactly. So this is really fun. So tell me a little bit about how this garden started.
Well, Candy and I have been doing this a long time, probably passionately for about 20 years. We built the house 20 years ago. And
we started by clearing all the land and keeping certain trees that we liked.
And then we built gardens around each one of the trees that were left. Not each one, but a lot of them, like the oaks and maples and ash trees and hemlocks, and we kept expanding. We put flower beds around them and rock gardens around them,
And you garden on about 2 acres here?
probably
right?
2, yeah,
Probably, right?
probably
Yeah.
2 acres. Yeah.
So it's extensive. You have a lot of garden beds here.
Exactly.
And a lot of different kinds of, you're doing a lot of different kinds of things. I'm really impressed with all of the trees that you have.
Yes.
You know, all the different specimens of unusual, it's like an arboretum here.
Yeah.
And every bed it really features a tree. How do you
How do we pick them? We
Yeah.
We go
visit.
shopping and find a tree we love.
like everyone.
Yeah. Like
And
I
you
don't know if you
can't
can
leave
focus.
without one.
That yellow smoke is one of my favorites.
That's
here.
a really pretty one. You have
And-
several yellow smoke bush.
Yes.
around.
We have
As
several.
well as the maroon ones, like the one down there.
Yes, they're so pretty.
Those are easy to grow, but these are
Uh-huh.
harder. They're not
The
as,
yellow ones.
Yeah, they're zone 5-ish, and we're right on the border of zone 5. So, and then the Swiss stone pine is one of my favorites right here too.
So pretty.
And
That's really unusual. So you have both deciduous and
right,
evergreen.
and behind you this is a copper beech. It's a very pretty tree.
It is a really pretty tree. And every bed has a mix of
Perennials.
trees and perennials and
This
annuals.
is a blue spruce over here.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty one too.
Yeah.
Dwarf.
And you have
blue
everything
spruce.
so well labeled. It makes it easy for me to, when I see
Makes
something
us
I
remember.
like, that helps too. It's easy to forget over the winter, huh? Every bed is edged with this beautiful stone. Talk to me a little bit about the process you use to build your beds.
I'm very fortunate. I have lots of stones to pick from. I've got multiple rock walls in the backyard here. I try to find flat rocks to edge all the gardens where the grass is, so this way I can mow right over it. I don't have to weed whack so often.
Okay, yeah, that saves a lot of time.
And as far as the walls, I have lots of rocks, and I love doing it. And I like to spend my time doing it. I have a lucky, nice Kubota tool that I play with, and it helps me position the rocks, especially
And
the
when
big
he's
ones.
doing it, he's got rocks. I mean, there's tons of rocks to select from, more than enough.
So it's a big puzzle.
Oh, it's a big,
yeah.
it's a
like
big
when
pile.
we did the rock wall in front of the house.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
There's
Lots
you
of
just have to
rocks.
make sure you get the right combination
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
perfect combination of stones
that's it.
for the job.
That's it.
And so do you what do you do, anything special to the soil when you're building your beds?
Well, you use the stone dust around the rock, right?
Well, I put stone dust underneath them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Underneath
just
the stones.
Underneath the
Okay,
stones,
yeah, uh-huh.
and nothing.
And then the soil in the beds
Yeah,
themselves.
and the
So
soil
you
in the beds, and that's it.
use
It's
the
really-
native soil, use
Yes.
what's here already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we do add some. Each plant gets to have some. Some stuff.
The compost. We
Compost.
have several composts over here. We have it over there.
several compost
Yeah,
beds
we
that
just
you utilize a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it seems to pay off.
Yeah, Shanna, my daughter right here she mows all her grass and puts it all in a pile over there, and I keep rotating the pile and make some pretty
to make
nice.
new compost.
Yeah, compost that, and I've got some back here too. And
Nice. And stones aren't the only thing that you repurpose on the property. I see there's a really pretty bench over here. You like to build a lot of other projects.
I do. I like to go in the woods and cut trees down and save all the wood. I have a sawyer come with a portable saw, and he spends a couple of days here sawing up wood. And this is a 3-inch slab of pine,
Wow.
and it's not that fancy, but it's still really nice. And the one down that way is a 3 or 4-inch slab of oak, and
So pretty.
it's pretty nice.
They are nice.
So the wood, I use it to make furniture, and to make things, birdhouses, as you can see. There are some all over the place.
Some a little fancier than others.
Yeah, that's a nice one. A lot of projects. So both you make interior furniture, exterior furniture, all kinds of projects. Very handy.
All kinds of projects,
Yeah,
yes.
that's nice. And so you're repurposing materials from the property on, in all different kinds of ways. But then also you I don't know if it's called repurposing as much as you reuse a lot of seedlings and cuttings that you find or make as well, right?
Right.
Perennials, he
Yeah.
saves everything.
Yeah. I have special beds that I place all this extra stuff, and when I need it, it's there.
Uh-huh.
And I like to give it away. We have
We
some.
had visitors the other day, 2 neighbors, and he was showing them the catalpa. And we had, 8 baby catalpas. He said, each pick one.
So they went home with
the
catalpas.
Yeah, and the
That's nice.
catalpas are very quick. They're fast growing and they're beautiful. So it's fun.
When you see a seedling, you don't just automatically.
No, we
pull it.
recognize them now.
Yeah.
At the
And save
beginning,
them.
you don't know weeds from,
That's true. That's true.
but now you can pick them out.
So you pot them up and put them
Yeah.
in the holding bed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're kind of lucky. We have received trees from my brother in Connecticut, dogwoods, smoke bushes. There's all kinds of stuff that we've gotten from him and learned to propagate ourselves too. And so we have, I love dogwoods.
The
They're one of
golden
my-
chain tree
the
was
gold-
from
the
him.
golden chain
that
was from
beautiful
Mo,
golden
yeah.
chain.
And the perennials, of course, they're all easy. The grasses that we
Yeah, that grass was from him.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had
So,
this one.
and we subdivide everything every year. Haas does. We got them all over the place too. What else? Cones. There's so many things perennial wise. It's amazing.
You can really just spread them around. So then when
Yeah.
you establish a new bed,
It's
you always have plenty
easy.
to
We
put in
don't
there.
really have to go out and buy anything.
Right.
We just
Right.
can
Only
find stuff to fill in.
So just when you see something you like, you can bring it home and fill in around it. Or,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. We've talked about how much you love trees, and you don't normally think of Japanese maples doing so well in colder climates like Zone 5, but Korean maples seem to do really well here. And this one is, which one is this one?
This is North Winds Korean
North
maple.
Winds,
This is a
okay.
new addition. We planted this one last year because it's cold hardy, of course, and
And the color.
the
color
colors.
is beautiful in the spring, beautiful in the fall.
Oh, well, and
And
it's a beautiful habit.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it is.
It's very nice.
And you have several Korean maples around.
Yes. Well, that's one there too.
Over
right?
there, yeah, we've got one.
And the one behind.
So there's
Japanese,
several
yeah.
different Korean maples.
Yes.
And do you have to do anything special to prune them or take care of them?
We do prune them somewhat. I pruned this one in the spring, but it really wants to grow.
She's a pruner.
I love to prune.
Some people are scared to prune. I'm impressed. I
Oh,
think that's
the
great.
fringe, it was so overgrown.
Mhm.
I said, we've got to do it. And I read in one of the magazines,
Mhm.
this is, you
That it's
do
okay.
it. Yeah.
And the
it's-
fringe.
yeah.
This was a fringe tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
and it's come back. It's going to be beautiful next year.
That's great. That's good. Well, it's good to be bold.
yeah.
She
A little
makes-
scary at first.
Yeah. And over here we have the lodgepole pine.
Yes. Right back here.
That one's a little stressed right now, but it's a beautiful tree. In the spring, it has those yellow plumes, and they stay bright for such an extended period of time. They're very striking.
We had a late storm. That was in April. Heavy, heavy snow, and it
Yeah,
got tipped
and actually moved the tree.
So that's why it has
I think,
stakes
I think
around
that's
it
why
now.
it's stressed out because of the
The
heavy
roots
snow
got
load.
all moved.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what are some of the challenges that come with gardening here?
Lots.
Japanese beetles, number one.
Japanese beetles, yeah.
Cold.
Aphids. Aphids are a big
Mhm.
one.
So what do you do about the Japanese beetles?
We hand pick them and throw them in soapy
Yeah.
water.
So that's a project
That's
Yeah.
a project.
That's a daily-
First thing in the day.
It's work. Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
So one thing that you had told me about your process every day. What's your day look like when you start? Every
After
day?
our walk through the neighborhood, we come back here. We walk through all the gardens for a good hour or so. Every day we
Every
do
you
day.
just
this.
get to know everything, and you really
We know everything where it is, what stage it's at, and things change daily. They really do.
It's
So
our
you-
daily planner. Now we know what we need
Yeah.
to do during
I
the
need
course
to
of the day.
prune this or
Uh-huh.
weed there. Or
you see where the Japanese beetles are,
Yep.
and you see the things
Yep.
that need pruning,
Yep.
and what needs a little extra water.
right.
Nice.
And we generally weed along the way. So
That's
every
why my
day
back is so sore lately.
we pick,
Weeding.
as we see them, we pick the weeds out. You know,
Right.
I mean, you see the roads here. I mean, you guys, there's a lot of road maintenance right here.
Mhm.
These little stone roads are, you know, they
But
like to,
they're nice because we have vehicles, so we don't go on the lawn so much.
Right.
You know, we stick to the stone roads.
with your
I
with
have
your
a
maintenance,
Kubota tractor,
Right,
and
uh-huh.
he has
right?
my
his
tractor, John.
John Deere
Yeah,
tractor.
so
We
it
both
just-
have a toy, a big toy.
that we live on during
Well,
the day.
Yeah.
Right. Well, with a property this size, you need
Yeah.
equipment
Oh,
to manage.
absolutely.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a great way to start every day.
It is. It's
It
wonderful.
is.
It's wonderful. It's fun.
And then, well, so we looked at the lodgepole pine here, and then I'm so interested in this redbud I see back here.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the redbud.
Yeah.
So this dark foliage redbud is more of a shrub than a tree. Tell me about. It's just different and beautiful.
It's called a Merlot redbud, and in the spring they're absolutely beautiful. It was approximately this tall when
was
we
a tree.
planted it. It was a tree, and it's not cold hardy enough. It's a zone 5, so it didn't make it here, and we have 2 other spots where it didn't make it. So we've been unlucky with the Merlots, but we have maybe 5, 6 green redbuds, and they're beautiful too.
And they're doing
So-
fine, but these
So,
just,
but these are still wonderful.
They are. So
they're
they just-
ornamental shrubs instead of trees.
so the top hasn't they died back at the top, but yet
Yeah, they come back
Maintained
at the
Yeah.
base.
more of a
and they'll come back
cascading.
every year like this. And now the biggest problem is how far out do they want to go? They want to just spread out.
So then Candy has to start pruning.
Yeah, or the lawnmower does. But
Yeah.
Or the
One
weed
or the other.
whacker. I can see a little weed whacker.
Very, very pretty. Oh, this dahlia bed is amazing,
Why,
Candy.
thank you.
So how long have you been growing dahlias?
I would say probably 10 years or
10
so.
years or so?
We saw a garden down in Camden, and it was just all dahlias, absolutely beautiful.
Oh,
So we store them in the garage during the winter, plant them in the garden beginning of May.
do you plant the tubers directly in the garden, or do you start them?
We
in
have
pots?
started some in the greenhouse, but we find that it's about the same amount of time to become like this.
So it's just as easy to just go
Yeah,
directly into
yeah.
the garden. And you said early May you start them.
Yep. early
So how do
May we
you?
plant them.
I see you have everything tagged
Yeah.
and labeled.
That's a challenge.
That's so
to-
smart.
Yeah, they're not all correct, but that way you can figure out, well, I have too many of this one, don't need to keep all of them, have more of this one.
So you
and-
divide in the fall.
Yeah, we divide them. We spread them all out in the driveway to dry them, get the dirt off them, and then package up tubers, a couple tubers with the necks on them into plastic.
Okay.
And then I tie these tags around the plastic.
And then you have them all labeled and ready to go.
Yes.
So and then you keep them in the basement or
garage.
In the garage.
In the
Okay.
garage.
And your garage is heated to
36 or so.
36, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, must be whatever you're doing is
It's a
working
day's
really
work
well.
to put them in and a day's work to take them out. And I mean a good day's
A
work.
good, I was going
forward
to
to
say
that
that
day.
seems like a big day. That's a lot of work. So you have this interesting setup here with the fabric. Do you leave the landscape fabric down all year?
Yes, we do.
And then you have the mounds of soil here and irrigation.
Yeah, the irrigation we just pull up and move it out of the way when we dig up the dahlias.
Okay,
And then we put it back in here, open up the ends for the winter.
nice.
The great system this is. It's a
It
drip.
seems really handy.
It's very nice. Yeah.
That's great. And you cut flowers all summer then?
Yeah, we have both these. We have over here, there's a row of zinnias. We also have veggies in here. We have beets and string beans, tomatoes. What else? Carrots. Yeah.
Oh,
we have
yeah.
Carrots.
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
And
And then the sunflowers?
Sunflowers came back from last year. The
Oh,
seeds
really?
had fallen, and we left them all, as you can see.
Well, they seem happy
Yeah.
there. You might as well keep
Yeah.
growing them.
Yeah.
So tell me about this fence around the perimeter of this bed.
Well, we were having issues with the deer. They were eating the beets, the string beans, and they were even getting the dahlias at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how we came up with, we put one row of string, you did. But where did you come up with this idea?
I just thought we should try it. And amazingly, one row didn't quite work, so we put a second row, and they've never been
I think
in
the
since.
little
Isn't that
guys
so
were going
interesting?
underneath that top.
Yeah, they would squeeze. You could tell they were squirming underneath a little. They'd get the edge plants. So once we put the second row in, it was fine.
So interesting.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time you hear you need a
Right.
Electric
8 or
fence
10-foot
or-
fence or
Right,
something, but
right.
this has been enough for now.
I
so.
know they could get in here, but apparently there's enough stuff that they can eat outside of
There's
here.
plenty. There's
Yeah.
plenty else other places.
They-
So just this one barrier is enough for now.
The hostas are their favorites, probably, right?
Yeah.
You notice they eat the
hostas.
hostas, and mostly they stay a little bit further away from the house.
Yeah.
Is that right?
As
Or do
long
they,
as we're here and they see movement in the house, they tend to stay out
they
there.
don't go up in the
You
bed.
saw the cedar trees that are curly-cued there?
Yes.
They
uh-huh.
ate the bases on both of those trees, so they go
Oh.
right up to the house.
So they will
They're
sometimes.
pretty daring.
Yeah.
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 Well, it's always something.
Yeah.
Every time I turn my head, I just see another detail that's interesting and fun in your garden. And I was just noticing this ornament over here. Did you make this?
I did make that, and I try to quiz people, what did I make it with? And you got it right.
The diffusers, the dryer diffusers. So pretty.
Thank you.
It's and so you like to make ornaments,
I do. Yeah, I
flower
do.
shapes, a lot of
Yeah,
them.
Yeah, I
with
have some others over there.
different repurposed things.
Yes.
Really fun.
Yes.
And the color combination is really fun here too.
Yeah.
But you also have so many annuals and beautiful containers and really nice tender tropicals in the garden. So you grew all your
I do
petunias
start a
from
lot
seed?
of annuals from seed. I usually start them, depends on my mood, but
Mhm.
maybe February or March. I start them in the house. And then once they get bigger and it gets warmer outside, I take them out to the greenhouse. That's probably the end of March, maybe.
Yeah.
that we
And what do you
can
start
bring
them
those
in?
up. I vermiculite.
Straight vermiculite?
Straight vermiculite.
Okay.
Once they've sprouted and gotten big enough, I transfer them to potting soil.
Okay, when they
And
have 4 or 6
leaves,
leaves or
yeah,
something? Okay.
yeah. And 6-pack things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then move them in the greenhouse
Yeah.
later in the spring. And
Yeah.
then, well, you have so many. I mean, it's amazing.
Notice she can't weed out the petunias.
There's one
That came
that's
from the compost.
Oh, did it? There's well, you
And
have
that's over here too.
Well, you
that
have
one.
so many beautiful different.
And you can tell right off different sized leaves. That's another
Oh
one
yeah,
there.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, neither one of you likes to say goodbye to a plant.
No. That is true.
And then over here you have your profusion zinnias.
Profusions.
I've seen lots of different colors of profusions
Yeah,
around
I start
the
those
garden.
as well a little bit later because they grow faster
Uh-huh.
than the petunias. And I start the bigger zinnias as well, but
Do you?
that's more like beginning of May because they grow pretty fast.
And do you cut your large ones?
Yes, I
And
love
the
those.
little ones, you said you
I deadhead,
deadhead.
the darker ones as they get older. We have some more flowers that I've made over
Oh
here.
yeah, those are
I've
fun.
used Miracle Grow scoops. I've used clothespins.
So creative.
More over there.
That's fun. Yeah. Well, I bet your friends like to see what you make every time.
And
That's really fun.
more
Do you share?
profusions here.
Really good. And then over here you have a bunch of agapanthus.
Yeah, my husband's brother gave those to us several years back, and they multiply.
Wow.
And we can't get rid of any.
No, of course not.
Although we do
So,
give some out once in a
do
while
you
if
share
somebody
them with
wants.
people?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
they're really. And so, how do you keep them? How do you keep these over the
We
winter?
just take them into the garage with other potted plants, it's heated 35,
Yeah.
6 degrees, and water them a little bit in the winter,
and then
just bring them out in the spring.
they're really, really nice.
Yeah.
And then the dracaenas here, the spike plants. So
Those are getting pretty old.
those started as just something you buy at the garden center to stick in with
just the one,
spike. Yeah.
one little spike.
How old are they?
Oh gosh, what do you think?
10, 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it takes time to get them to this point.
Yeah. And so you overwinter those in the garage too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they could take such cold temperatures. I thought they would need,
No.
50 or 60 degrees. I didn't
No.
realize that
They're
they
actually
would.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Even in early frost, they can take it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they're
Yeah.
pretty cool and they look really healthy too.
Yeah.
So we're here in July and there is so much color and so much interest in your garden. Is this your favorite season?
We don't really have a favorite season. Like when you asked when should we come visit, it was hard to say because all along through spring, through summer to fall, there's always something flowering, something nice. We have the rhododendrons, we have the magnolias, annuals, perennials that are later, like the oxeyes here, the laetris.
And then even in the winter with all your conifers and
Yeah.
even the
That's really-
forms
yeah.
of the deciduous trees.
It's very nice. It transitions like she said. The magnolias, we have about 10 of them. But the dogwoods, we have 15, 16 dogwoods. They are
That's
beautiful.
a pretty time. That one tree over there is just magnificent.
And then
Absolutely
like
beautiful.
you said, the rhodies are really nice. Then the summer trees, the fringe tree, the multiple flowering trees, the crabs. We have
Crabs,
crab
they're fast. The
1
color.
week. That's it.
Yeah.
They go quickly,
Yeah,
but
really
it's a really
quickly.
beautiful week.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful week. Exactly. So I like the crabs personally. She's not a big fan of crabs, but I
They're kind of
am, yeah.
messy, and the trees are kind of ugly, I think, from this time of year.
Yeah.
And these guys are pretty nice here too.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Twisty baby, the locust, that's really nice.
And they had pretty flowers, clusters of flowers, kind of like the golden chain.
Okay.
Very similar, except they're white.
Right. Nice. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So there's not a bad time to be here, it
No.
sounds like.
No, I don't
Well,
think so.
I've really enjoyed this visit here. Thank you so much for sharing your garden with us and our readers, and congratulations
Thank
again
you.
on winning the Reader Garden Award this year.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure on our part too. So
Yeah.
very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.